affirmation that I chose today was, divine love is doing its perfect work in me now. Now, I didn't make that up. I stole that from Mike Costello because I thought it was such a great affirmation. And he also asked the question, why do we fail to see the truth? And when I was in New York last week and the week before, I always get to go to the Unity Church there, and it's so much fun for me because I sit up in the balcony and I can look way down and see all these people coming in and the seats being filled up. And it's such a joy to see 1,200 seats fill up when you're sitting in the balcony watching it all happen. And so, to me, that is just a great indication that God is still alive and well on this planet. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today is that indeed God is our help in every need. No matter what we're facing, we need to really rely on the power of the Holy Spirit to guide us and direct us. Because as we allow this to happen, we begin to awaken in ourselves our divine potential. Now, some of you may not think you have a divine potential, but you really do. You're not here by accident. You're here by purpose. And when you think about your divine potential, I want to make sure that you're not missing anything and that you're aware that you are to be abundant in this lifetime. In every portion of your life, you are to be abundant. And we are to be supported and guided, and know that we are supported and guided by the Father. And when we are supported and guided by the Father, then we understand and begin to live like we are sustained, and that we are whole, and that we are vibrant and enthusiastic. So when you think about your life and you want to awaken to this divine potential, you have to think not only for yourself, but you have to think about the others that are around you. We were given the direction from Jesus to love your neighbors as yourself. Now, when I used to teach Sunday school, I used to get those kids all fired up because I would make them tell me who their neighbors are. Not just those people that live next door to them, but those people who live everywhere are considered our neighbors. And we want to make sure that we hold every person on this planet in love and in the beauty that's in this world. You know, whenever I was at last week when I was in New York and I got a chance to just talk to the minister, he said, well, Cynthia, how are you? And I said, well, I'm perfect, spiritual, and divine. He goes, wait a minute, let me write this down, because he thought that was so good that I would say that. And that's the way we want to portray ourselves to every person, that we are indeed perfect, spiritual, and divine. And you know, we want to value the unique qualities and expressions of everyone on this planet. And we want to learn how to honor our differences while we appreciate our oneness with everyone. So we want to enlarge our view of the world and remember that you're a child of God. But sometimes we forget to do certain things. So I put together something from the Optimist Creed that are 10 items that you can promise yourself to do every day. So number 1 is to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. How do you train your mind to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind? Well, I think that one of the ways that we do that is to get ourselves immersed in our Bibles. A lot of people have given up reading their Bibles. And I think that you know what Bible stands for, right? Basic instructions before leaving earth. Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. If you don't pick up this Bible and read it and find out what the promises are for you, you're missing out on how easy a divine potentialed life can be led. Number 2 is to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. Here's an example. John comes up to me and he says, "Well, how are you, Cynthia?" And if I don't say I'm perfect, spiritual, and divine, and start naming off all of my aches and pains, my ills of the earth, my dissatisfaction with the government or whatever, you're not talking health and prosperity and happiness to everyone. So you've got to set your mind on that, because God instructed us, actually Jesus instructed us, to think on pure and lovely things. Number 3 is to make your friends, not just a few of them, make all of your friends feel that there is something special in them. Now that can be kind of challenging, because we all like to talk about ourselves, we all like to kind of shine and all of that, but we want to make sure that our neighbors understand, those people around us, that we absolutely love and cherish everything about them. Because, again, we may have our differences and we honor those, but we appreciate the oneness that we have being a child of the Father. Number 4 is to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. Not everybody is going to have the same life potential as you or the same dream potential as you. Some of us are called to be teachers. Some of us are called to be business people. Some of us are called to be actors, whatever. But we need to make sure that our optimism, who we are, comes through like a champ. Because isn't it more fun to be around somebody who's optimistic and sunny and fabulous, instead of somebody who is down in the dumps and tired all the time, or, griping and moaning and groaning? Number 5 is to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. Now, to me, that is just like top of the mountain, fantastic, fantastic for everyone, to think only of the best and to operate out of that. Our consciousness needs to have that our consciousness needs to portray that, so that when we talk to people, we meet with people, they are so happy to be in our presence, because they recognize that there's something new and different about us. Here's one for you that's going to take a tall person to do. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. So all of us should think about being as enthusiastic for everyone's success, no matter what it is, as we are for our own. And number 7 is to forgive the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. Now, some people say there's no such thing as failure, there's just a learning curve. And I kind of go along with that, because no matter what you do in your life, you're not always going to be wonderfully successful. You're not going to see buckets of cash just raining down from the minute you decide that you're going to start in a new pathway or a business. But what it is for me is to be able to forgive myself of where I missed the mark, because we all miss the mark. So be forgiving of yourself, be forgiving of others, and that will move you right into number 8, and that is to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every person you meet a smile. Now, coming from New York, not everybody smiles so much there, right? But in my seminars, that's the last thing I always give as my last little point of advice, is smile at every person you meet. Because you never know, it might be the best thing that has ever happened to that person all day, maybe all week, maybe all month. So share that happiness and that love and that optimistic, divine potential spirit that you have with every person by giving them a smile. Number 9 is to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. Just think about just improving yourself. Don't worry what the other people are doing. There's a verse in the Bible, I can't really quote it, but it says, don't worry about that speck that's in your brother's eye because you've got a board in your own. Don't worry about criticizing, just be loving and kind. And number 10, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. Now, those 10 things are what you need to promise yourself to think of and live by every single day. This creed to live by every day, to be so strong, to talk health and happiness, to make all your friends feel that there's something so wonderful in them, to always look at the sunny side of life and make your optimism come true, to think of only the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past, move on, press on to the greater good of the future, and to wear a cheerful smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you don't have time to criticize, and to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. So that when we look back at these little tiny verses that we put up early today, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And be ye therefore transformed by the renewing of your mind. So remember, God is your help and my help in every need.